Hello, I'm Colton Thomason, and this is my data presentation on professional golf throughout the years. The most important thing about professional golf are the scores, and as we can see, the lowest yearly average scores in pro golf since 1980 has not changed that much. In fact, they've changed just over one stroke. That is not a significant amount. As we can see, the lowest average score each year has barely changed over the last 45 years. In 1980, the average score was 69.73, and in 2025, the average was 68.13. This data is interesting because of the technological advancements made to golf clubs and golf balls each year. I know you're asking what advancements have been made. Well, one example would be the driver. Almost yearly, companies release new drivers with different technological advancements to make golfers hit the ball further. Driving further allows an advantage because you have less distance to go the rest of the hole. And this is why it's surprising that professionals have hardly benefited from extra yards off the tee. The average drive distance in 1980 was roughly 274 yards, while in 2025 the average was 331 yards. This is important to note that this is for the longest professional driver of each year. So that data tells us that over the last 45 years, the average drive has increased by roughly 57 yards, which is equal to 171 feet of extra distance. So a good reason for why this happens is because older golfers such as Dan Pohl in 1980 used a wooden driver to hit the furthest average drives of the season, whereas nowadays professionals use a wide variety of brands with different materials like metal, aluminum, and carbon fiber. If you're wondering which brands are leading the industry, Titleist is leading the industry with 37% of professional golfers using their drivers, followed by Ping, Callaway, TaylorMade, and then 14% of professional golfers use other brands. I also wanted to look at some of the most dominant players of all time. Ben Hogan from 1946 to 1953 was one of the most dominant players in a very short period of time. Walter Hagen from 1914 to 1929, Gary Player from 1959 to 1978, Jack Nicklaus from 1962 to 1986, and then Tiger Woods, one of the most dominant golf players of all time, from 1997 to 2019. If you look at major championships, how many each of these have won, Jack Nicklaus leads the group with 18, Tiger Woods 15, Walter Hagen 11, and then Ben Hogan and Gary Player both have 9. What this tells us is that most of the more dominant players were from the early to mid 1900s, and this indicates that there may be more competition today than there was back then. It also tells us that usually two dominant players do not play at the same time because most of their reigns of dominance did not overlap, besides one instance. And then lastly, it is important to note that winning multiple majors has and will always be one of the most difficult feats in sports. Thank you very much.